Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show. Thank you so much for joining us. Joining me in the studio is Travis
McClunky
and Brian Malkowitz,
Team.
back from his 5-year exodus.
Yeah,
off
my
of the
bad.
show. Sabbatical journey back to IGN, back here.
I've been on assignment for too long, and I'm
Brian,
finally
what
back.
embargo game have you been capturing for the last 5 years?
I've been playing, let's see, The Witcher 5,
Mass Effect
Half-Life
5,
7,
Oblivion 2.
Mass Effect 7.
KOTOR. That's what Brian's been working on. On today's show, we're going to be talking about what's been going on with Stonks. Have you donated? Have you invested? Sorry for the peeking. We're also going to be talking about the weapon passes, and largely that's the main stuff going on this week. So might be a little bit of a shorter episode, as a heads up. I know a lot of people don't like that, but
It's only when I'm here. No one wants to hear me talk for that long.
let's start with the part that's probably not going to take very long. Did you guys donate?
I did.
Are you still invested?
I am. I have 0 francs right now.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to hit it anyway, so I've just been investing.
Yeah.
Or, sorry,
We're gonna hit it because we're donating, so don't stop donating. So that way we hit it.
When we started recording the show last I looked, we're at about 7 billion.
Yeah.
The goal is 9,777,777,000.
Yep.
That is the goal.
Yep.
I think there's a good chance we hit it on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And my logic for that is that a lot of
Math.
people have been donating.
And it's the weekend too. People are going to sign on.
people are gonna
donate
sign on.
theirs. I have like $5,000 or whatever. I haven't donated yet.
$5,000.
It's just the inventory thing. So when I donate it, of course I'm going to be going for weapon rolls and such, and for the free XP basically. So I got to make sure I invest it and take the time to do that. But also my inventory is a disaster. Good news.
We know.
Bungie, on a separate note, has given me a reason to delete more things. They're taking a massive weapon pass.
Oh yeah, it's time to delete your Izanagi
Finally.
burdens and your and all the your revokers.
Thank you to the Twitter person who sent me that joke.
Oh, I thought it was.
okay.
I thought it was a Destin original.
Nope, definitely not.
All of
For
this
Season of
materials.
Redacted, we've adjusted quite a few weapon
Worthy, come
archetypes
on.
alongside the
We
changes to swords that were announced 2 weeks ago. Well, these are not the changes in the release. We're covering some important conversation pieces here. What do you guys want to start with? Izanagi's.
Izanagi's, I think, is a pretty big one. It defines the PvE meta, and Brian is our resident PvE fanatic. How do you feel about this?
I feel like they just buffed sniper rifles and they're already just dismantling them, and I'm like, cool, man.
So let's
that
give
was
people
fun
the
for a
data.
minute.
Let's give people the data. Damage to major enemies reduced to pre-Shadowkeep values. They're down 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Adaptive
That's a lot.
Sniper's precision multiplier has been reduced from 3.25 to 2.95, and Rapid Fire Sniper's base impact has been reduced from 100 damage to 90 damage. Great, so I don't use snipers anymore.
So I know that this obviously
Sleeper's
affects
back.
Izanagi's in particular and snipers in PvE. Do you think it'll affect snipers' kind of ascension into PvP?
I hope to God not.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think snipers.
Oh, do they still one headshot?
They should.
Yeah, but before the issue was the flinch.
Yeah.
There were. I'm wondering if.
Hey, at least Izanagi's getting no distraction now, so you won't have to worry about his flinch as much as if you're ADSing for a bit.
There you go.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this will affect PvP. And to be fair, snipers were incredibly dominant.
Well, it's the
in PvP.
two-body thing that I think people were worrying about
In PvP.
in PvP. Like if two-body shotting with a sniper rifle, which I guess a lot of people are complaining about, but still makes kind of sense. It's a sniper rifle. Come on.
It's a sniper. If you get shot twice to the body, you should get a kill.
Yeah.
Once to the head is a kill. That's how a sniper rifle should feel.
I agree.
That's how it should be. I hope this doesn't affect PvP. If you are going to make it 3 to the body, we should start with more ammo then.
If it's 3 to the body, that's just terrible. Why
If
would
it's
you
through the
use
body,
it?
just don't use it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Use a scout rifle.
You could
Scout
use-
rifles, you can get 3 to the head.
Yeah.
You could use 3-tap with a hand cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So
the same
you've
way.
reduced sniper rifles to be as effective as a hand cannon. Time will tell. I don't think that's what's happening.
No, I don't
think so.
I don't think
Sniper
so.
rifles feel like they are exactly where they should be. I like the amount of ammunition you get in PvP. I'm not really happy that they've decided to nerf things again in PvE. It just seems... I felt like the sandbox was in a pretty good place, with some exceptions we'll talk about.
I mean, the snipers
further.
were very dominant in PvE. Like, they were basically essential for
Were
boss
snipers in
fights.
PvE dominant, or was Izanagi's dominant?
It was Izanagi's.
Because they're not really using, no one's really using Whisper or Darcy or the other one.
Well, why
kind of
would
the
they if
legendary.
they already have
exactly.
an exotic,
if,
yeah.
if you're using Izanagi, there's no other
my-
reason. But
My loadout for Garden of Salvation, for example, was Revoker and Blackhammer.
really,
It's a sniper.
Yeah.
Blackhammer, huh?
I also used Revoker.
You're
a lot.
living in
Black,
Destiny.
Black
There
Spindle.
you go. Yeah,
My bad.
sure.
Black,
If that's the weapon you want to call it, still.
Black Hammer.
What's
Whisper of the Worm.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I went back in time for a second.
Wadu.
I'm back. Whisper of the Worm is my favorite weapon in Garden of Salvation. But
Izzy's yeah.
Izanagi's is the one that does more DPS.
Yeah, it's
but
just like,
maybe my loadout will be more viable now.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And the reason I use that is because usually I'm the runner. So I would hop back in, and usually I'm just, sniping things.
Do you think this will reduce the prominence of snipers in PvE, or do you think that it'll just make the sandbox more varied in terms of which sniper you use?
Probably maybe more varied because like there's still things that are like just super underperforming in comparison to Izanagi's burden. So like I mean the only real way to tell too is like once the patch drops, we tested along things like Sleeper Simulant and Whisper of the Worm again and see if those are just doing comparable damages.
What do you think they'll use? If not snipers,
Probably not grenade launchers.
Linear fusion rifles.
Probably. Yeah. Maybe rocket launchers.
Because those got buffed recently and those aren't getting affected. So those might kind of just like, depending on how much that actually affects it, maybe linear fusion rifles make a big comeback.
Maybe. Let's talk about the other changes. Grenade launchers through a combination of archetype adjustments and new perks being introduced. Grenade launchers have been quite powerful since the launch of Season of the Drifter. Keep peeking today.
Yeah.
We've changed
very
the
passionate. Oh, that was a peak too.
aggressive frame sub-archetype to the rapid fire sub-archetype to be more in line with other weapons established, blah, 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 blah. Aggressive frame grenade launchers are now rapid fire frame grenade launchers. Rapid fire frame grenade launchers have had their damage reduced.
That's Mountaintop, right?
To account.
Mountaintop is a rapid fire.
For their rate of fire 0.8x. But now also have increased reserves. So you get more ammo, takes longer to reload. No, wait. Less damage, more ammo.
More ammo.
Yeah.
Previously, aggressive frame grenade launchers fired faster than adaptive, but had the same damage. Also, damage to major enemies and above by power weapon grenade launchers reduced by 10%. All right, so those are out.
Yeah. Well, grenade launchers were incredibly effective at melting.
Do they just not like speedruns?
Well, I think that
Do
right.
They just hate speedrunners. Bungie, why do you hate speedrunners?
Yeah, it's like
you did the sword thing, so they're not going to be able to speedrun the things anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to speedrun with the ribbon cheese potentially with this change. You can probably still get there.
What if Season of Redacted, we know it's worthy, come on.
Season worthy.
Comes out and it just brings back the rocket launcher meta and just secretly we don't know yet. Because they didn't say it was all the weapon balances in here. So
I could see that happening. I think you're right though. I think it's linear fusion rifles.
It's linear fusion rifles. Because those aren't being touched and they were buffed recently. So we'll see how that plays out.
They'll probably be the first to get debuffed in Season of the Worthy.
It'd be pretty cool if Sleeper was like really good again. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think Sleeper's not going to change with the Season of the Worthy. It just might be more viable next to these things that are getting nerfed now. So it's bringing those things down. It's not bringing Sleeper up, but it just who knows?
I'll just keep using 1,000 Voices.
1,000 Voices, Divinity.
It's gonna bring some new players into the game, and one player is being taken out. Lord of the Wolves, hopefully, Release the Wolves now significantly reduces this weapon's accuracy while active. Thank you, Bungie. We'll see how much this actually impacts the use of the weapon. I still think you should just remove it. It's a stupid gun. I hate the gun. And it's
I like
calm down.
Gun.
Like we still the Lord was still a very fun gun, but it's also like this is another thing where it's just impacting PvE versus PvP. Where
Brian uses it, doesn't he?
Not in PvP because I don't play PvP.
Lord of Wolves. That's for PvP. This stability thing. This is a PvP thing.
It is.
For
sure.
Yeah.
But specifically,
I just want to see how that. I mean, I know one's using it in PvP.
Hold up. You're telling me you use Lord of Wolves in PvE like ever?
No, but I'm just saying it's not good in PvE. Now it's going to be even worse in PvE because
he's definitely not going to use it.
So now I'm definitely not.
Well, here's the thing. This is not only a PvP patch, it's a PvP PC patch, right? That's where the problem is.
Oh, is that gun not like a problem on console?
It's got
console
recoil.
Players like it's fine, leave it alone.
It's got crazy recoil on. I mean, I occasionally will
Is it because they have less frames?
Maybe, I don't know. Fewer frames.
Whatever.
We have more grammar.
All right.
Fewer frames, more
All
grammar.
right.
Oh, on console.
Excuse me.
Ryan throwing shit at console players for no reason.
Yeah.
What's up with that, bro?
Do what?
Throwing shade at console players.
He's got a Destiny tattoo now. He thinks he's cool.
Yeah. Let's talk about last word. Fanfire now adjusts to precision scalar while hip firing. Fanfire impact values have been adjusted. So precision hip ADS adjusted from 68, I'll round up, to Okay, no, I can't round up. Here's the thing. 67.95/67.95. It's been adjusted to 68.27 to 52.2.
Yeah, so it's slightly more effective at hip fire, and it's significantly worse at ADS.
At ADSing. Yeah. So just don't ADS. So slide shot, opening shot. That's your God roll.
Yeah. Non-precision hit on last word.
Oh, sorry. I thought you moved into shotgun.
Last
This
word.
is last word. Sorry.
Non-precision hip ADS adjusted from 50.01/50.01 to 38 out of 38. Ooh, okay. Aiming down sights no longer provides additional effective range, damage fall off, reduced stability for mouse and keyboard input, reduce the effective range to improve the experience. Honestly, I use Thorn. Now everyone's going to use Thorn.
I think so.
Yeah. The last word
specifically on PC,
but
last word
it's still not as good as year one Thorn. Ping, ping, walk away.
Oh, Destiny 1 Thorn?
Yeah,
Destiny 1
Did I say year one?
Really
year one of Destiny.
Brian's been gone for 5 years.
It's been a while. Right?
He's been playing
What's
Doom,
the Leviathan
Doom
I'm hearing about? What is this?
So last words not going to be in the meta anymore.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I mean, it was barely in the meta now. I mean, some people prefer
a lot of people,
Thorn,
but I mean, now it's going to be.
What's the hand cannon that's actually the problem? It wasn't last word.
That's actually the problem?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the
one everybody's
the
farming right
one? Oh, God. Dude, I could play Destiny for 50 years and I wouldn't remember any of the names of the weapons.
You guys,
well, it's when you're on the spot.
What?
When you're on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like remembering a spot. It happens all the time. You're like, wait a minute. It's right there. I can't remember the name.
It was the one that True Vanguard was talking about, right?
we just talked about it last week. Dear Lord, spare rations.
Spare rations.
Okay,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a god roll of that just sitting in my vault because I don't really like use PvP rolls.
Yeah.
So when people were like, "Oh yeah, you just got to have a rapid fire and I forget what the other one you need for the god roll," and I was like, "Oh, I got one of those."
Yeah.
So good news, everybody. Spare rations has been untouched. You can delete your last word now. Freeing up that vault space, baby.
You can delete a last word anytime you want anyway. Yeah, if you're not using exotics,
Yeah.
just delete them. This is your problem. This is a Destin problem.
You
He talks
keep your-
about
do you
vaults
actually
all the
keep
time.
exotics
How
in
much
your
vault
vault?
space do you have?
I have 350 slots in my vault
Yes.
available.
So
that's disgusting.
I will look at it right now on Ishtar.
available?
Hold
Because
on.
350
Maybe it's
slots.
250. I'll look on Ishtar.
That's still
That was a very clip. Why is he clipping so bad right now?
Well, he does. I don't know. Maybe the producer who set this up should have looked at the levels or something.
I'm sorry.
Brian.
Who just got a promotion?
Yeah, so I'm supposed to come into the studio and set up the soundboard.
That's
Hey,
a
you got
director
promoted.
role.
You do everything yourself now.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks, Brian.
That's good.
Okay, so
Shotguns, one
So I
issue-
am taking up 217 out of 500 slots.
That's insane.
We
What's your
don't-
secret?
we don't
My secret is not keeping bullshit that you know you're never going to use.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
That's what I do too, but I still end up with 400 slots.
My problem is I've gotten all the drops for the season. I haven't gone through and organized. I had 100 slots at the start of the season. Now it's full. I haven't even pulled the gear for my alt characters. I've only been running my hunter. And I have to sit down now and clean my vault out. That's just so not fun in any way.
Yeah.
There's not a clearly conveyed correlation between the drop you have and the one that you get.
Right.
Just this one's clearly better. And I think if Bungie could figure out a way
Well, you could
to
probably
make that a little
maybe
clearer.
a color marker in the corner instead of what season it came from. Maybe you can add an icon or your own a customized.
I actually
thing
already homebrew that by putting the lock symbol or not.
Yeah,
lock
that's
the
what
lock.
I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I
Yeah,
just
but if
lock
you're
it. I'm like,
discerning
that's a
between
good
different
roll.
things, but I mean,
on weapons, it's much easier.
Yeah.
I just look and I'm like, that one's trash. that
Well,
one's trash.
now-
it's armor where you have to really look at it for a while.
Yeah.
And then manage it.
At least now,
Yeah.
I know you guys probably talked about this last episode or something, but now that they're removing the seasonal thing from the armor slot, the armor mod slot, that now you can use it.
We were
for
very
anyone.
happy about that.
I don't have to keep all my Dreambane armor stuff, and I can use stuff from the next season with all of the other old mods too.
For sure. Let's continue on weapons. Shotguns. Target
boy.
acquisition for non-slug shotguns has been adjusted to no longer account for precision locations. Previously, target acquisition could actually cause the player's spread to deviate from the intended aim vector, causing most of the spread to miss.
Same with fusion rifles.
Cone angle is now adjusted on a per sub-archetype basis and is no longer adjusted by the range stat. Let me read that again. Cone angle is now adjusted on a per sub-archetype basis. Okay, so each of the archetypes are going to be different, and it's not going to be based on your range stat. That's a positive, actually. It's going to be clearer what you're getting.
Sure.
Aiming down sights no longer adjusts effective range for this weapons archetype. So no more ADS with shotties.
That's going to annoy people. Yeah. I mean, I don't really use ADS with shotguns.
Yeah,
I'm
same. So it's like
shoot, but
yeah.
Well,
that's what I was talking about earlier,
like,
where slide shot and opening shot are going to.
You would ADS, your cone would sort of hone in, and your range would be further. So this is like a mind bender's answer, right?
Yeah,
essentially.
Anybody who grinded for snapshot sights is probably going to be real mad or are already very mad.
Yeah. Probably already really mad.
I mean, I guess it's good that these don't affect slug throwing shotguns, but I still feel like some of those shotguns are kind of crazy.
Yeah, there are a few.
Yeah.
So shotguns is not great. People who grinded are going to be mad. The only reason I'm not mad is because I didn't grind for it. Yeah. That's the thing about Destiny.
But you should be mad for those people because they put the time in, where it's like you've put plenty of times into other things. You're just not being directly affected by this one. So
for sure. So I'm less passionate than I normally would be. Had I put in time for mind benders, I would absolutely understand why you're mad right now.
If I bet you all of the guests we've had for the past 4 weeks are probably mad at this right now.
Yeah. I just don't rock shotguns for PvP, and for PvE, I have trench barrel on enough shotguns that are going to be good, so I'm not too concerned there.
Yeah.
But for the PvP players, this is going to affect them, and it's going to force them to use different weapon archetypes.
I mean, shotguns were very dominant in PvP as well. Yeah. So
there were some really stupid ones, and I love it when I snipe you in the face and kill you, especially when you're rushing me. Yeah.
Dustin, are you okay?
It's getting a little steamy in here, doesn't it?
Yeah, jeez.
Fusion rifles. Here's another one. Aaron Tills, we're looking at you.
What happened with Telesto?
Target acquisition for fusion rifles has been adjusted to no longer account for precision locations. Previously, target acquisition could actually cause the player's volley to deviate from the intended aim vector, causing most of the volley to miss. I just like that they use the word vector.
This happens to me all the time with fusion rifles. Actually, I kind of hate the auto aim. It like locks in on people's head when you're using a shot,
and then it like shoots there.
Yeah, when you're using a fusion rifle, you want to aim for center mass, and because it doesn't.
You want all those bolts to hit it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'll like aim at somebody, and then another guardian will come running in between my line of sight, and I get pulled onto his head, and then oh my god, come on, man. Yeah.
Damage falloff for this weapon archetype can now floor at 0.5x, previously 0.75x. Effective range and the impact of the optic stat for this weapon archetype has been reduced across the board. So less distance, right? Because right now you can like shoot somebody across the map. It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
That one I agree with. Backup plan. Backup plan now adjusts impact to match the rapid fire sub archetype while active. Charge time is now set to match the rapid fire sub archetype 0.85 while active. So you will shoot faster when it's on.
So is this a Aaron Till debuff or a Telesto debuff or both?
Aaron Till.
Aaron Till.
It's definitely an Aaron Till, and Telesto will still.
People have been talking about it for a while. I didn't use the gun personally, so I don't know how like OP it was.
It was pretty OP, at least on console. It was, yeah.
I think, so again, PvP perspective, I think they're going to be much less effective in the PvP space. PvE, honestly, none of the stuff that they've done is drastically going to affect PvE, except that
the sniper rifle,
Izanagi's,
and the grenade launcher.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big. When you say not drastic, that's actually big because that's the meta right now. So it's literally those two are the meta.
Yeah, those two are the meta. They're being brought down enough that they're just going to be in line with the other weapons, meaning that we're going to get a new meta in the PvE sandbox. Shotguns, that's a PvP play. Last Word, obviously PvP. Lord of Wolves, PvP. For sure.
I mean, maybe the PvE
fusions. It was the Aaron Till.
Maybe the PvE meta doesn't change because it's about easeability too, right? Like shooting a grenade launcher at a Divinity weak spot is still easier than, lining up like a linear fusion rifle shot to hit it. So it's like just doom, 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 doom.
I don't know. The community tends to adapt to whatever.
Yeah, we'll definitely adapt. But if they're just bringing it down the line, maybe just the easeability of using the snipers and the grenade launcher doesn't really change how we actually.
So
yeah, I'm just thinking about this. Like going back to grenade launchers for a second, that's still not going to impact Wardcliff. Some people don't like Wardcliff because it's a super shutdown heavy. You get one shot in PvP. You use it to shut down like a competitive super usually, especially when you're in a close game. And I don't think that's going to be impacted. So that's not going to change.
Well, yeah, rocket launchers aren't touched at all, right?
No, at least.
It's considered a grenade launcher, isn't it? Or is it a rocket?
No, it's a rocket launcher.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So, but they haven't said anything. They said these aren't the only weapon balances for the next patch. So we could get a tuning for rocket launchers. I don't know.
I think Warcliffe is perfect.
Warcliffe is fine where it's at.
Everybody's using Deathbringer in PvP also because
Deathbringer, that's
one,
interesting
too.
Well, one shot, if you shoot it to a grouped up team, it's going to track them and kill them all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Truth is really good too because you get that extra shot.
Yeah. Man, we're over here talking about how rocket launchers are in a bad spot, but we're just talking about how 3 of them are just OP.
Yeah,
you know what?
But I mean, it's for a very specific situation
very
in
specific.
PvP.
You know what's about to be my bay though?
Ooh,
My auto rifle.
Ooh, I got my steel.
That's a great transition.
Steel weather repeater.
And my wife, sorry, honey.
Great segue.
I just recently got a really, really good steel weather repeater.
Nice.
From the time lost weapon bounties. So
yes.
I'm actually really excited for the auto rifle buff.
So this is almost like a D1 level buff. This is the only buff in the bunch, in my opinion. And a lot of people are thinking that this means auto rifles are going to be the new meta. So precision frame,
maybe better.
Precision frame, 17/27.2 default says precision, previously 17/25, so it's up 2% or 2 whatever metric that particularly
2 numbers.
Adaptive frame, previously 15.75/25.2, previously 13.75/22. So 22 to 25, 13 to 15. That's pretty significant. And then rapid fire, 13.4/20.1, 12.5 previously, /18.75. Oh man, those rapid fires.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be nasty, I think.
Yeah, so here's my thought on this. I think this will make
More bullets into your dome.
I think this will make auto rifles usable, but like this doesn't address like hand cannons, like you were saying. Like the only one it's touching is
the
last
TTK.
word. So
on
spare rations and the Thorn, the one that you like, aren't going to be touched by this. I think that people that prefer to play with those weapons will still use those weapons. But if this can make auto rifles at all feasible, like awesome.
Already there was a time when Hardlight was being used in the Crucible space.
That's true.
So I do think that
Maybe
we are going
bring
to
it
see
back,
even more auto rifle use in the next season. Maybe they're even focusing on that for next season. So I can imagine, how is this going to impact Suros? Is Hardlight going to be even better now, like more feasible?
Especially since they removed that stupid screen shake that's been plaguing the gun for 6 years.
I forgot about that already.
They've been looking at auto rifles for a long time. And they're like, just a little bit more.
I think
more up.
Yeah. I think
I think this is going to put it to where it's actually viable.
They've been afraid of those since the first.
Yes,
the first nerf of your
Destiny.
But they've been afraid of them since then.
Since Destiny 1.
Since Destiny 1, they've been afraid of it. They've just been nudging them up in Destiny 2 ever so slightly since the launch of Destiny. And now hopefully they're at a spot where they're just good enough and they feel good enough to use next to everything else.
Yeah. Well, this buff will make Deej happy. He still uses auto rifles.
He still uses Shadow Price. He's the only one.
He uses Suros too.
Shadow Price isn't in D2, I don't think.
I don't even know.
It never came over.
He just plays Destiny 1 just to use Shadow Price.
Yeah. No, he had Shadow Price specifically coded into Destiny 2
just for him.
To use on his character. Just kidding. So Bungie does note in the TWAB, these are some of the biggest changes coming to weapons. Be sure to check out the official patch notes in early March for the full list. We also have a preview of exotic armor changes, along with tuning to your supers and abilities in the coming weeks. So we're getting another super patch. It's Void this time, right?
Yeah, it should be
we did
Void
Solar last time.
I think the combo should be Void and something else. No, because we had Void last season.
They're talking about how they're tuning. So the first season, the first
it was
tune
Void last time.
This
was
one
Arc.
was Solar.
It was Solar, right? Because the Warlock's got the new melee.
And they changed
Was
the
the
hammer,
one before that? It was Void.
Yeah, so it must be Arc.
So it's Arc. Oh, that's my favorite on the Hunter.
I thought Arc.
There was Arc.
Oh,
Day.
there was Arc Week that
Arc
they had
Week,
where they had
something
that adjustment.
like
Yeah.
We'll see. Either Arc or Void.
On the note of the exotic armor, though, there is a lot of exotic armor there that's useless. So hopefully they're like tuning a bunch of different armor pieces.
Yeah. Your sidearm loader.
Bows can be held indefinitely.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show. There's some odd choices for exotic slots.
Yeah.
More options would be nice.
See, the thing is, the problem with the bow held longer thing, like it's a meme basically.
Yeah.
But there's also nothing you can pair it with. There's no bow that's like the longer you hold it, the stronger it gets.
If there was an exotic bow like that, then sure.
1,000% increase in damage or something. Like then that would make that a viable exotic. So if they were able to do something like that, sure. But right now there's so many examples where it's just a joke.
Yeah, and it's just like I would honestly be fine if the next season didn't have any new exotic armors, because it seems like they're just from the trend that they're doing is like one new exotic armor piece per character per season.
I actually like that. They've introduced
Which
some
is
really
fine.
interesting, useful exotics.
Which is fine, but I'd be fine with the next season if they didn't introduce any new exotics, if they just took the time to fix all these ones that are just sitting in our collections or our vaults doing absolutely nothing because they're just useless perks.
Yeah, there's so many that you can't use.
There's so many.
That would be really cool. Hey, we're not doing new exotics this season. I still think they will. I think they
probably.
I think what they'll probably do is we'll probably still get the 3 new exotics that they'll introduce, but it would be excellent if they just revisited the ones that are trash and just said, hey, we're changing the perks on all these exotics. We know they're dumb, so we've changed them. They'd never say dumb. But.
Also, am I crazy, or were exotic armor catalysts supposed to be a thing at some point?
I don't know about that.
Weapon.
There's still a bunch of exotics that don't have exotic weapons that don't have catalysts that
That's
we
true.
still need some for. That I'd like to see being put in the sandbox or whatever.
Yeah, I think all the weapons should have catalysts. Like
I feel like new exotics should just come with a catalyst right out the gate. They're getting better about it, especially with like the new seasonal guns that they're adding.
Yeah,
you just pick it up from the first section of the new season pass, and it's got an exotic. Well, you have to do that mission first, but I don't know. I think all exotics should have a catalyst when it just first drops.
Yeah,
one for you to chase.
So, one other thing we should talk about. We've kind of gone over all the weapon changes. One other important thing. There was a cutscene this week.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We can't forget about this. Here's what Bungie said about it in the TWAB. While all this has been happening, Osiris confronted an old ally, ? To provoke them to pick a side. Have you seen the new cinematic in-game? It's out there. You can sign on. It just plays when you sign on, by the way. In the weeks to come, your victory over the Red Legion on Mercury will be complete. A new season is on a rapid approach, and with it comes new mysteries, threats, and activities to plunder for rewards. If you're enjoying those obelisks, you still have time to farm their resonance levels and weapon bounties before the next season begins. We'll share more with you real soon.
So do we think it's going to be a Vanguard versus Drifter thing next season?
I sure hope not.
Nothing. The only reason I agree with you, Travis, is because last time they did it,
nothing happened.
Yeah, you got like what? You get 7.
You got different packages every week. But there was. I remember I got so excited when I saw the box. It was like, this decision will lock you out of lore tabs. We'll have narrative effects. I was like, whoa, like this is crazy.
This is massive.
And
none of that is true.
Didn't really pan out to much of anything except for whenever you join in Dredgen, he calls you a snitch if you side against him.
The other thing is that wouldn't it just divide the community between PvP and PvE? Like who's in PvP if the rumors of Trials coming back are true, isn't going to pick Osiris in like the Trials of Osiris, and then who for PvE, who has no interest in PvP?
You're like running Trials, and you like choose
Rasputin.
Choose Rasputin. He's like, all right, traitor. Go get those kills, traitor.
That's going to be the only change. Yeah.
Who would you side with, Osiris or
Osiris?
Rasputin, man.
Because
Rasputin
I'm PvP
all the way.
I'm PvP.
Rasputin.
But Osiris sucks.
Osiris's character is meh because they haven't really developed him, but Rasputin's probably evil.
Yeah.
Like he killed the traveler.
That's why you want to be on his side.
That's why I want to be on
You
the
want to be on the evil side.
Well, if Rasputin's powerful enough to destroy the traveler, I want to be on that side.
Well, I'm going to be fighting for justice with Osiris.
Join
me.
I'm going to fight for life.
Yeah, enjoy your time.
OsirisForAmerica.com.
Enjoy your time in the infinite forest not really doing anything.
Well, you know what? I've got
good luck getting lost in the quarters of time.
I've got Saint 14 on my side, okay?
Yeah. Well, he's just in the tower now feeding pigeons. No. That's going to be his life.
He and Osiris are like this, bro.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
They haven't had a single interaction in this entire season, so
I actually don't think it's going to be what you guys think. I don't think it's going to be a
we're just
side.
I don't know if it's
I think they're
going to team up.
I think here's what the
I think they're going to make. I think Rasputin is going to somehow empower Osiris, give him like a cool set of armor or something, and he's going to come back stronger than ever, and he's going to look cool. He's going to be cool, have this really interesting mission, the same way that Saint 14 did this season, and we're going to love him again.
Maybe. Here's my pessimistic outlook. I think that it's just going to be another loose end that they don't talk about.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I saw a very good post on Reddit about like it was titled like mostly inaccurate description of season 10, and it listed all these things that when I read it I was like, it's probably all true. And it listed things like 6-player matchmaking activity that's basically just Escalation Protocol, but with all the Escalation Protocol weapons randomly rolled,
Yeah.
all, revamped armor, all that stuff. And I'm just like, I just go read through it and I'm all like, this is probably it. It's probably what next season is like all of these things. Cause like, that's what
every season has been.
Yeah. A 6-player match made activity and then random rolled weapons of older weapons.
I've heard from countless people who have felt less engaged this season than ever before. The community event, while interesting, is largely not that. I would say the fun factor of donating Fractaline.
Okay, have you guys talked about that at all?
Is found within the meme. Not really. Why? What do you want to say?
Well, no, I just think it's ridiculous on how slow it is to, and like the expectation, it's happening, but I mean, like, people are just like upset, and I'm upset too about like the fact that like as a PC player, I'm feeling the need to create a macro to donate for me because of how long it takes to just.
You'd think they'd be able to say, just let me donate 1,000 at a time.
I just
have
want
it
them
just scale up. It's just a UI
have a
element
slider.
with a number.
How about a slider or
Yeah.
Or if you're on a PC.
I was like, I want to invest all of them.
Yeah.
They did it for Final Fantasy 14.
I literally put it on a show and just started.
Like there's probably
A.
some there's probably some technical limitations behind it with them like tracking all of those happening. So maybe like them increasing it by 100 is like letting the system is probably like the threshold where like it can track it well enough that like they're putting in 100. So like the system's being able to track that. But if like people were able to type in 25,000 and like 7,000 people are doing that at the same exact time, the system's like, whoa, what?
After reading about the bug that they encountered last week with it just deleting stuff, the way things are intermingled within the Destiny engine sounds like an absolute nightmare.
And yeah, it's like the devs probably are having a hard time with it.
We changed an inventory thing and that caused it to delete all your materials. I'm like, how do you have these things tied together? That's terrifying.
And it's like I doubt Bungie was like, all right, so we're gonna make this new system where everybody has to donate Fractaline. We need 9 billion of them, but they can only donate 100 at a time every 3 seconds, and they're laughing about it as they're doing it. It's not that. There's got to be a
like
technical
that. Destiny is the only thing that makes me think there might be a Destiny 3.
Oh, because of the
engine.
The engine is limiting them so hard, and like this donation of Fractaline is like clearly obvious that there's some sort of limitation that is preventing them from letting us just donate as much as we wanted.
Yeah, because if we were able to donate 1,000, it would also like delete every exotic in the game. Or
Probably
something like
it's
insane.
it's like
how is your other inventory intermingled with this thing? Like their explanation for it, I was just like, I was flabbergasted, to be totally honest.
We don't know a lot about
working
game
in
development.
Excel. It's like having a VLOOKUP that also deletes numbers from one of your other pages.
It's like every time someone donates 25,000 Fractalines, somebody gets a Galahorn and Disney too. It's like, that's how it breaks the system. That's why they don't let us do it.
We don't know anything about game development, so maybe this is like really common that this sort of weird stuff happens.
Yeah,
but, it does seem very odd to me.
Like
there was a story recently that most games are basically trash before launch because they do their polish pass, really close.
Was that the Jedi Fallen Order article that people were passing around?
That was recent. Okay. Basically, Jedi Fallen Order, they're like, yeah, we know there's bugs, but we can launch it. It's in a good enough state.
And it was. I love that game.
I love that game too. It definitely had so many bugs. I mean, I landed once, and then I landed on a planet once, and then I walked off the ship, and then right off the edge, and it fell to my death. And
I heard about bugs. I didn't run into any. I got lucky.
I had a few.
Console
I ran into plenty.
That's where we're at with Destiny this week, though. Real quick, last question for both of you guys. What is your take on this season? You have to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it makes you take a hard line. You can't be middle ground.
Oh, this is so binary.
Yeah.
Why don't we use the IGN scoring system instead? I know.
All right. No. I have to rate it, I got to give it a thumbs down due to player engagement. I feel like it did a poor job on player engagement and player investment, and it's too similar to the previous seasons.
Yep.
And that's why I would do thumbs down.
All right, I can see that. Yeah, like Sundial, don't like it at all. I didn't like it, so I'll give that a thumbs down. But season overall, I'd probably give it a 6 on the IGN scale.
Okay, all right.
Because it's okay. I mean, there's some fun bits about it.
I really
enjoyed the new weapons. I liked the Saint storyline, but like
it's actually harder than I realized because the Saint stuff was so good.
The Saint stuff was fun and good, but it's just like, the main draw of the season, which is always activities and things to do, was okay.
Yeah.
So you're giving it a thumbs down, but an IGN
I'm giving
6.
I didn't say no, Sundial specifically.
What are you giving it overall?
Overall, 6.
Per his rule.
Per his rule?
The thumb.
Bernie's calling me for more donations.
I guess if you're looking at it on like
I'm not kidding. It was a nonprofit. Really? It's probably
him.
A Democrat candidate.
I'm asking you once again to give Fractaline.
I'm asking for your Fractaline support. Yeah, I guess it has to be I guess like thumbs up, but not like full thumbs up, because like thumbs down is like an F, but a 60% is a D, which you pass.
Okay, by those rules, I give it a thumbs up. I was going to give it a thumbs down just because overall, like the content for me is like lacking. Like there's not a whole lot to do.
Yeah, I'm not completely mad at the season enough to give it a thumbs down. I don't want to say thumbs up because like that's just,
you gotta pick one.
I know
that's
why
the
I'm
fun
saying
of the experiment.
That's why I'm saying thumbs up, but like a D, because like
thumbs up, but barely.
But thumbs up, but it's a thumbs up because like you can't, because 60% is passing, 50% is failing.
By that logic, I'll say thumbs up. But like for me, it's almost like how I feel when I wake up with this game. Because like
I thought you were just say wake up in your life. It's like wake up and my life is sad. I was like, I'm
alive.
I hate you guys. No, it's like some days I wake up and I'm just like, oh, and then other days I'm like, oh, this is fine.
You're not saying the whole game is trash. It's just like this season.
This contains season. No, obviously I still love Destiny.
Overall,
this season,
I would say it's probably the worst season since Shadowkeep. There's only been two.
That's such
I don't
a low
know.
bar.
I think I had less of a fun time. Even though we got a raid, I still don't think I really cared much for Undying.
Really?
Because as a season, the problem with Undying is it's correlated with Shadowkeep. But if you separate
you're right.
If you separate just Undying, that was also not great.
If you separate Undying from Shadowkeep, like you can't put those two together because that content is separate. If
Shadowkeep, thumbs up,
Shadowkeep's
100%.
Undying, 100% a thumbs down.
Yeah,
100%. Wait, no.
It's the repetition.
Yeah, because the raid. Technically, there is no raid in Undying because that was the raid part of Shadowkeep.
The event, Undying Mind event.
Undying Mind. All it had was the what was IRC? It was so forgettable. I forgot what the mode was called when you go into the Black.
It was Final Assault. Was the last one. Before that,
what was it called?
Undying Mind. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's so
boring event. It was a very boring event.
They deleted it. How am I supposed to remember?
I know. Sometimes
boring event where you went in, shot a bunch of stuff over 3 waves, then killed the final boss.
Exactly.
Thank God this season we got something different where you go in, kill a bunch of ads, and then kill a big final boss.
Yeah.
Gee, what's next season going to be?
Vex offensive.
Wait, that was 1 season ago. You said 2 seasons. It was literally last season.
Yeah, and it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And we got it again, and we're going to get it again. If that's what we can expect from these seasons, I am very disappointed.
Yeah. It was also called Vex Offensive.
Vex Offensive.
But yeah, if you're stacking Undying versus like in a vacuum, Shadowkeep out of there, Undying versus Season of Dawn.
This is good. Okay.
Dawn is much better.
Agree.
1000%.
Agree. So let's play that game.
Yeah.
Travis, I guess we've already said.
I think
Undying versus Dawn. Dawn is here.
Dawn is better. Yeah, absolutely. But for me, just overall, like I give it a thumbs up, but barely. I think they can do better, and I think that if they want to keep players engaged, they need to give it something. I'm super hopeful. I should put the caveat that I'm super hopeful with Season of the Worthy. I think if they manage to give us Trials back and they revive a PvP endgame mode, I think that'll be a huge game changer, because Trials is what kept Destiny 1 alive whenever it didn't have content. I mean, it was like the singular thing that everybody could go back to, and it wasn't like replaying a raid 20 times. It was like new and fresh every time you did it. And
Did we talk about the new Nightfall mode?
Oh, geez. Thank you so much for bringing
ordeal.
it up.
Grandmaster.
Yeah, Grandmaster difficulty.
I'm just going to call it super ordeal.
You know who else had Grandmaster difficulty? Anthem. Just saying.
Did it?
Where can they learn more about Anthem?
So I just want to know
at the Destin channel.
Other than they didn't really go into much about like reward specifics.
They said they're going to talk about it later.
Because
like
I just hope that it's just not like more difficulty for the difficult the sake of difficulty. Like,
here's what it says.
Give me more of a reason.
Here's what it says, Brian. A new Nightfall difficulty, officially dubbed Grandmaster, just like Anthem, will test even more proficient Guardians. We'll have more details about the new ordeal in the coming weeks, but for now, we have information from the dev team on the weapon changes, and we went over those. I'm really glad you said that, actually. I think it's positive. I joke about the Anthem correlation. Anything that we've talked about it on the show, like, why would I do a strike? Well, now you have a challenging mode, more challenging mode.
But we've talked about it before, where challenging doesn't mean that you have incentive to do it.
Yeah.
What is the reason?
It's only the only mode where you can grind prisms and shards. But it'd be more enjoyable as a strike grinder where I grind strikes all the time.
A reformed strike grinder.
A reformed strike grinder, but
Recovering.
taking a sabbatical or a break from doing such. And the Night 4 Ordeal would be a great place to grind strikes if it was a playlist. If it rotated between those different, they could have, I know that, that would create a problem where everybody could grind for every different Nightfall specific weapon every week. So maybe they have one that's, featured that week that you can grind for, but just make Ordeal a playlist where every strike that can be an Ordeal is playable throughout the week. So that way grinding for shards and prisms isn't just a mundane task.
Yeah. They should do that. I mean, it seems like all of our solutions to problems in Destiny are make a playlist, like the raid
Make
thing.
a playlist.
But yeah, I agree with you. That totally would solve.
Yeah, no, same thing. Yeah, same thing in raid, just like you said.
Make
like
it a playlist.
Make a playlist. Like so that way we don't have to do the same raid every single week.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like the raids, but it just gets. Sometimes you just don't want to look at Garden of Salvation anymore.
Bungie, we want you to make us a playlist, a music.
Ooh, make me a mixtape.
Yeah,
of
make
raids
me a
and
mixtape of strikes and raids.
All this feedback considered, I just brought up the Steam charts so we can look at it. It's still in the 50 to 60,000s for played an hour ago as of we're recording. We're recording in the afternoon on a weekday. This goes up on the weekend. Last 30 days, 60,000 active players. In January, 65. December, 95. November, 107. And October, when they launched, 165. So they've dropped 100,000 average players since October 2019. 100,000 drops.
Just on Steam.
Just on Steam. That's one platform.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're sort of leveling off around 60,000 active players. Yeah. And then I had another... Dang it.
Do you guys know how much it was in like
to correlate
one during the lulls?
No, but to correlate to some other big games, Peak today, 800,000 Counter-Strike players. Dota 2, 600,000 today. GTA 5, 200,000 peak today. Tom Clancy, 163. That's PUBG, 500.
Yeah.
Destiny still looks like it's in the top 10 though.
No, they're not.
What is that?
That's not top 10 though. This is top 100. So Destiny 2, peak today was 82.
Well, how far down is it from the top of that list?
It's like number 15. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, that's not terrible.
No, I mean, like, games would love to be in that space. Absolutely. So is Destiny dead? No. Could the seasons be better? Yes. And I hope Destiny continues to improve from here because it does seem like they have been on a downward decline and they need to like level off. I think we're going to see a spike and hopefully if 60 is their level, great. They'll be number 15 on Steam ad nauseum.
Yeah. And I think Trials will help sustain it.
Well, Trials would bring
Trials?
Trials would bring back a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so.
I bet Trials would bump up those rookie numbers. Get them back in the top 10.
Well, Trials was a lot of reason why a lot of people left.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, those are our just immediate thoughts. What do you guys think about the status of Destiny 2 or just the seasons overall? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, everybody,
Guardians out.